and a very warm welcome to the brand new edition of Parliament This Week, your weekly roundup of all important developments in Parliament. I'm Kriti Mishra, and now let's begin the show. So the 252nd session of the Rajya Sabha concluded on Wednesday. During the 10 sittings, a total of 25 bills have been passed and 6 bills have been introduced. The productivity of the House during the session has been 100.47%. As against the scheduled available time of 38 hours and 30 minutes, the actual functional time of the House has been 38 hours and 41 minutes. Chairman Naidu, in his valedictory address, said that though the session was satisfying in terms of productivity, there have been some areas of concern as well. Take a look.
In his concluding remarks, Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu said the high productivity of the previous sessions continued in this session as well.
During the 10 sittings, total of 25 bills have been passed and 6 bills have been introduced. The productivity of the House during this session has been 100.47% as against the scheduled available time of 38 hours and 30 minutes. The actual functional time of the House has been 38 hours and 41 minutes. While 3 hours and 15 minutes time of the House has been lost unfortunately due to disruptions, the House sat for an extra time of 3 hours and 26 minutes. I am happy to inform you that the new normal of high productivity witnessed during the last 3 sessions has continued during this session as well. As a result, the overall productivity of the last 4 sessions come to a praiseworthy 96.13%.
Chairman Naidu spoke at length on what he termed some areas of concern.
All that I like to do is appeal to all of you and all of the other members who are not here from the depth of my heart to kindly ensure that such unseemly behavior is not repeated in future. I would like to remind all of you that in 1997 and 2012, this August House has resolved that all members will uphold the dignity of the House by complying with the rules and procedures laid down. It is the responsibility of all the members to ensure smooth functioning of the House so that we can fulfill our commitments to the people.
Chairman Naidu said the various sections of the House need to work together to assist the smooth functioning of the House.
To protest is the right of opposition, any member for that matter. But the question is, how should it be done? The floor of this August House is the most effective platform for contestation of ideas. But if boycott is done for a longer period, it amounts to leaving the very platform that enables you to effectively convey your ideas and contesting those of others. I request all members to keep this in mind.
Stating that the session was being concluded 8 sittings ahead of the 18 planned sittings as COVID-19 pandemic continues, the chairman spoke about the special arrangements and the hectic efforts that went into making this session possible.
As we were thinking of this readjustment, I was not sure as to how the honourable members would cope up with these changes. I am very pleased that all of you have adopted very well. I have had to familiarize myself with this new situation by having 2 mock sessions and several rounds of discussions with officials. I wholeheartedly compliment all of you for making this success of this novel experiment.
Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Let me give a brief account of this session.
And in the Lok Sabha, Speaker Om Birla said that the monsoon session was historic in many ways and thanked legislators for staying late to work despite the threat of COVID-19. He said MPs had been present on weekends as well and thanked Rajya Sabha Chairman and Vice President of India, M. Venkaiah Naidu, for his support. Lok Sabha was adjourned sine die on Wednesday evening, bringing the monsoon session of Parliament to an end 8 days ahead of schedule amid concerns over the spread of coronavirus. In his concluding remarks before adjourning the House, Birla said the productivity of the session was a record high.
मेरा निरंतर प्रयास रहा है कि माननीय सदस्यों को मंत्रालय से 1 माह की निर्धारित अवधि के अंदर उत्तर प्राप्त हो सके। माननीय मंत्रियों द्वारा विभिन्न महत्वपूर्ण विषयों पर 40 वक्तव्य दिए गए। इसमें से कोविड-19 महामारी, कृषि क्षेत्र में न्यूनतम समर्थन मूल्य तथा लद्दाख सीमा के पास घटित हो रहे घटनाक्रम पर संबंधित मंत्रियों द्वारा वक्तव्य शामिल है। इस सत्र के दौरान संबंधित मंत्रियों ने कुल 855 पत्र सभा पटल पर रखे गए। सभा में देश में कोविड वैश्विक महामारी के संबंध में 193 के अंतर्गत एक अल्पकालीन चर्चा भी की गई, जो 5 घंटे 8 मिनट तक चली। चर्चा संबंधित मंत्री के उत्तर के साथ समाप्त हुई। इस सत्र में विभिन्न महत्वपूर्ण मुद्दों पर चर्चा कराने, विधायी कार्य संपन्न कराने के लिए सभा की कार्रवाई निर्धारित समय के अतिरिक्त 23 घंटे से अधिक देर तक चली। मैं माननीय उपराष्ट्रपति जी का भी आभार व्यक्त करता हूं, जिनके निरंतर सहयोग और मार्गदर्शन से सभा का आयोजन सफलतापूर्ण करने में सहायता मिली।
The session started on 14th of September with numerous challenges necessitated by the COVID-19 pandemic. For the first time, the two houses met at different times in a day to ensure social distancing norms. Prime Minister Narendra Modi was present when the House was adjourned. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Parliament passed the Farmers Produce Trade and Commerce Promotion and Facilitation Bill 2020, the Farmers Empowerment and Protection Agreement of Price Assurance and Farm Services Bill 2020 and the Essential Commodities Bill 2020. The government has assured that there will be no change in the minimum support price and this will benefit farmers. Take a look at this detailed report.
In the recently concluded monsoon session of Parliament, 3 agricultural reform bills were passed. These reforms will ensure a complete transformation of the agriculture sector, empowering farmers and liberating them from several restrictions. The 2 bills, Farmers Produce Trade and Commerce Promotion and Facilitation Bill 2020 and the Farmers Empowerment and Protection Agreement of Price Assurance and Farm Services Bill 2020, are aimed at transforming the agriculture sector in the country and raising farmers' incomes. The government says full protection has been ensured to farmers in these legislations. Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar said in the upper house that minimum support price or MSP-based procurement of agricultural crops from farmers will continue. He termed the bills historic and said they will bring a revolutionary change in farmers' lives.
लेकिन खेती के क्षेत्र में जब हम विचार करते हैं तो एकांगी विचार होगा, तो कभी भी न तो किसान का भला होगा और न खेती मुनाफे में आएगी। किसानों की आमदनी दोगुनी हो, उसके लिए सिर्फ यही बिल कारगर नहीं है। किसानों की आमदनी दोगुनी करने के लिए सिलसिलेवार बहुत सारे प्रयास 6 सालों में किए गए। जब लोकसभा में चर्चा हो रही थी तो इस प्रकार की शंका कुछ मित्रों ने व्यक्त की। उस समय भी मैंने कहा था और माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने भी देश को आश्वस्त किया है कि न्यूनतम समर्थन मूल्य का इस विधेयक से कोई भी लेना देना नहीं है। न्यूनतम समर्थन मूल्य पर खरीद हो रही थी और आने वाले कल में भी खरीद होती रहेगी, इसमें किसी को शंका करने की आवश्यकता नहीं है।
The Farmers Produce Trade and Commerce Promotion and Facilitation Bill 2020 will create an ecosystem where farmers and traders will enjoy freedom of choice of sale and purchase of agri-produce. It will promote barrier-free interstate and intrastate trade and commerce outside the physical premises of markets notified under the state agricultural produce marketing legislations. The farmers will not be charged any cess or levy for sale of their produce and will not have to bear transport costs. The bill also proposes an electronic trading in transaction platform for ensuring a seamless trade electronically. In addition to mandis, there will be freedom to do trading at farm gate, cold storage, warehouse, processing units, etc. Farmers will be able to engage in direct marketing, thereby eliminating intermediaries, resulting in full realization of price. The Farmers Empowerment and Protection Agreement of Price Assurance and Farm Services Bill 2020 will empower farmers for engaging with processors, wholesalers, aggregators, large retailers, exporters, etc. on a level playing field. There would be price assurance to farmers even before sowing of crops. In case of higher market price, farmers will be entitled to this price over and above the minimum price. It will transfer the risk of market unpredictability from the farmer to the sponsor. Due to prior price determination, farmers will be shielded from the rise and fall of market prices. Besides, it will also enable the farmer to access modern technology, better seed and other inputs. It will reduce cost of marketing and improve income of farmers. An effective dispute resolution mechanism will be provided with clear timelines for redressal. The Essential Commodities Amendment Bill 2020, which had also been passed by the Parliament, is interlinked with the two farm bills. Minister of State for Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution, Danve Rao Sahib Dada Rao, said in the upper house that the bill is in the interest of farmers and consumers.
आपके माध्यम से आश्वासन देना चाहता हूं कि ये जो 1955 का ये जो कानून था, इस कानून में अभी जो बदलाव लाया है, तो ये बदलाव ये मोदी जी का दृष्टिकोण है। मैं आपको बताना चाहता हूँ विशेष रूप से हमारे प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी के दृष्टिकोण से यहाँ जो लाया हुआ कानून है, इसका फायदा जरूर किसानों को और ग्राहकों को मिलने वाला है। मैं मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में हमारे देश के किसानों की आय दुगनी करना ये हमारा संकल्प है। इस संकल्प पूर्ति की दिशा में ये विधेयक मोदी सरकार का एक महत्वपूर्ण कदम है। उपसभापति महोदय, मैं आपको ये विश्वास दिलाना चाहता हूँ कि ईज ऑफ डूइंग बिजनेस की दिशा में वोकल फॉर लोकल को केंद्र बिंदु मानकर मोदी सरकार विशेष रूप से काम करने में कटिबद्ध है। ये बिल किसानों के हितों में, ये बिल ग्राहकों के हितों में भी काम करेगा, इतना मैं आश्वासन देता हूँ।
The bill amends the Essential Commodities Act 1955 to arm the centre with more powers for production, supply, distribution, trade and commerce of certain commodities. It also seeks to increase competition in the agriculture sector while enhancing the incomes of farmers. The bill also liberalizes the regulatory system while protecting consumer interest. Further, the Essential Commodities Amendment Bill 2020 empowers the central government to regulate the stock of an essential commodity that a person can hold. The provisions of the bill on the regulation of food items and the imposition of stock limits will, however, not apply to any government order relating to the public distribution system or the targeted public distribution system. The bill also empowers the centre to regulate supply of certain food items including cereals, pulses, potato, onions, edible oil seeds and oils under extraordinary circumstances. Such circumstances include war, famine, extraordinary price rise and natural calamity of a grave nature. With inputs from Kriti Mishra, Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And moving on now, Parliament also passed 3 labour codes, with Rajya Sabha passing them on Wednesday. These codes would provide salary security, social security and proper environment at workplaces to 50 crore workers of India. Over 29 labour laws have been merged into these codes to work out a balance between welfare of workers and ease of doing business for the industry.
Parliament passed the 3 labour code bills, merging 24 central labour laws in a major boost to labour reforms. The bills that secured the approval of Rajya Sabha on Wednesday included the Occupational Safety, Health and Working Conditions Code 2020, the Industrial Relations Code 2020 and the Code on Social Security 2020. Lok Sabha passed them a day before on Tuesday. Introducing the laws in the upper house, Junior Labour Minister Santosh Gangwar said they will provide a safe environment for workers. Further, social security benefits have been added in the bill in line with Prime Minister Narendra Modi's resolve for a universal social security.
किसी भी श्रमिक की ये नौकरी यदि छूट जाती है तो दोबारा उसके रोजगार की संभावना बढ़ाने के उद्देश्य से आईआर कोड में पहली बार री-स्किलिंग फंड का प्रावधान किया गया है। इन श्रमिकों को इसके लिए 15 दिन का वेतन दिया जाएगा। सभापति महोदय, कोविड-19 के परिदृश्य में प्रवासी श्रमिकों के अधिकारों को सुदृढ़ करने के लिए विशेष प्रावधान किए गए हैं। प्रवासी श्रमिकों की परिभाषा को व्यापक बनाया गया है। अब सभी मजदूर जो एक राज्य से दूसरे राज्य में आते हैं उनका वेतन 18,000 रुपये से कम है तो वे प्रवासी श्रमिक की परिभाषा के दायरे में आएंगे और उन्हें सरकार की कल्याणकारी योजनाओं का लाभ मिल पाएगा।
The Occupational Safety, Health and Working Conditions Code 2020 will consolidate and amend the laws regulating the occupational safety, health and working conditions of persons employed in an establishment and related matters. The second bill, Industrial Relations Code 2020, consolidates and amends laws relating to trade unions, conditions of employment in industrial establishments or undertakings, investigation and settlement of industrial disputes. The Code on Social Security 2020 will amend and consolidate laws relating to social security in order to extend social security to all employees and workers in the organized sector or the unorganized sector. The Labour Ministry drafted 4 codes to consolidate 29 central laws. The Code on Wages has already been enacted but yet to be implemented. The 3 codes approved by Parliament await presidential assent. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
And several important bills were passed to provide breather to the COVID-19 stressed companies and enhance ease of doing business in the country. These proposed legislations are expected to enhance investors' confidence and push up aggregate demand and production.
Parliament passed the Taxation and Other Laws Relaxation and Amendment of Certain Provisions Bill 2020. The bill seeks to provide various relief measures in terms of compliance requirements for taxpayers amid the coronavirus pandemic. The measures include extending deadlines for filing returns and for linking PAN and Aadhaar.
We had to bring an ordinance because a lot of tax-related compliances were due at that time when the lockdown was announced. We realized that many of the people who are tax assessees cannot do their compliances even if they wish to do. Therefore, we had to bring in an ordinance, and the ordinance was issued on 31st March 2020, which essentially was for deferring the date of compliances both for direct and indirect taxes. Also, the customs and excise also had to be covered similarly. Therefore, we had to bring in the ordinance for including these deferrals of dates.
Parliament also passed the Banking Regulation Amendment Bill 2020. The bill, which comes in the backdrop of the PMC Bank scam, seeks to strengthen cooperative banks by increasing their professionalism, enabling access to capital, improving governance and ensuring sound banking through the RBI. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman assured the House that the legislation empowers the central bank to regulate only the banking activities of cooperatives.
And in presenting this particular set of amendments, I wish to highlight and state upfront that this set of amendments to the Banking Regulation Act is being brought to completely protect the interest of depositors. And that is why there are only few amendments. But the amendments are coming in. With the singular objective of protecting the interest of the depositors. Protecting depositors by ensuring that we don't have any more such difficulties like the ones which are being faced by PMC-like problems. We want to bring in proper management. We want to make sure that they are professionally run.
Parliament passed the Companies Amendment Bill 2020. The bill further amends the Companies Act and decriminalizes various non-compoundable offences and promotes ease of doing business. Finance and Corporate Affairs Minister Nirmala Sitharaman said decriminalization of various provisions under the Companies Law will help small companies by reducing litigation burden on them.
Since 2013, the total number of penal provisions related sections were 134. Then it came down. Today, after we pass this bill here, there will only be 124 sections which have total penal provisions. But what we are not touching, what remains like what it was in 2013, is the non-compoundable offences section. 35 of them from 2013 remain 35 even today. So those non-compoundable sections of 35, which will make sure that those who do fraud, those who do deceit, and those who bring injury to public interest will all be treated with firm hands.
Parliament passed the Bilateral Netting of Qualified Financial Contracts Bill 2020. The bill seeks to further develop the financial market in India and provide an unambiguous legal framework for enforceability of netting of a qualified financial contract. This bill is significant as India currently does not have a legal framework for bilateral netting. Netting refers to offsetting of all claims arising from dealings between two parties to determine a net amount payable or receivable from one party to another. The bill allows for enforcement of netting for qualified financial contracts.
Legislation will help us in evaluating risks far more in real-time basis, and actual risk assessment happens rather than a notional risk assessment based on the gross figures. It is the net which is important, otherwise the real value of money is locked up. So with this, just one bullet which I'm telling you, commodity derivatives such as electricity derivatives, oil derivatives, coal derivatives or gas derivatives, you can immediately imagine what are the kind of transactions which are going to get covered because of this legislation that this House is choosing to consider today. This bill, if passed, will have a very big bearing on the financial stability of India, and we'll have a buoyant bond market, as a result of which businesses will have greater affordable resources.
As per the Doing Business 2020 report, India had jumped 14 places to the 63rd position in the Ease of Doing Business rankings. India has improved its rank by 79 positions in 5 years. With these reforms, India's rankings are expected to improve further. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And moving on now, Parliament passed the Jammu and Kashmir Official Languages Bill 2020. The bill allows Kashmiri, Dogri and Hindi, apart from existing Urdu and English, to be official languages in the UT of Jammu and Kashmir. Government said that the bill not only fulfills a long-pending public demand of the region, but also keeps with the spirit of equality. Here's a detailed report.
The Upper House on Wednesday passed the Jammu and Kashmir Official Languages Bill 2020. The Lok Sabha passed the bill on 22nd of September. During the discussion in Rajya Sabha, Union Minister of State for Home G. Kishan Reddy said the bill gives importance to those 70% people who speak Kashmiri and Dogri in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. He stressed that it was a demand of the people of Jammu and Kashmir that the languages they speak should be official languages.
जम्मू कश्मीर में 5 आधिकारिक भाषाओं के अतिरिक्त अन्य क्षेत्रीय भाषाओं को विकास करने के लिए भारतीय भाषाओं को केंद्रीय संस्थान से जानकारी प्राप्त हुआ है। प्राप्त के जानकारी के आधार पर जम्मू कश्मीर में आधिकारिक भाषाओं को साथ साथ अन्य क्षेत्रीय भाषाओं को भी बढ़ावा देना तथा उनके विकास के लिए वर्तमान संस्थागत ढांचे जैसे जम्मू कश्मीर अकादमी और कल्चर एंड लैंग्वेजेस मजबूत करने के लिए प्रावधान इस प्रस्ताव में पहली बार लाए।
Taking part in the discussion, the members said the bill will strengthen the existing institutional structure to promote and develop regional languages. According to the 2011 census, 53.26% people in Jammu and Kashmir speak Kashmiri, 20.64% speak Dogri and 0.16% speak Urdu. The former state of Jammu and Kashmir had only English and Urdu as official languages. The state was bifurcated on 5th of August 2019, with Ladakh and Jammu and Kashmir being made separate union territories. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
So that's all I have for you in this edition of Parliament this week. Thanks for watching and stay tuned to Rajya Sabha Television.